Ark Survival Evolved is a survival game in which you are stranded on an island surrounded by vast oceans filled to the brim with danger and dinosaurs, with the mainland being even more so. You are a man or a woman, I don't really care, and you must use your wit and instincts to make, mend, murder, and make new friends in order to survive and thrive in this lush, hellish paradise. Because of how much stuff is in this game and the amount of different things to do in whatever order you want, as it's a survival game, I'm going to run through this in a very on-paper version of events from when you spawn in for the first time onwards. Note for transparency's sake that I was playing on a single player server by myself with a 3 times multiplier in both taming speed and XP gain. Now that that's out of the way, let's get the most boring things out of the way. Like a lot of survival games, actually no, let's scratch that. All survival games basically, Ark features a series of meters on your HUD that relay information to you, such as basic stuff like health, stamina, sustenance, and your weight, as well as external factors such as status effects and temperature. Nothing special really, it's very basic. It's like getting a burger from 2 different joints. It tastes exactly the same, except one's slightly better or worse because they didn't forget the fucking pickles. You can also level up to earn in-game points to spend on new crafting recipes and increase your state of living and your lethality on the island. Probably your most useful asset in this game to you will be your intuition and your foresight. You have to be able to plan ahead to keep the situation under control, and if something does go wrong, be able to knock up a contingency plan instead of worrying about what if something goes wrong. Instead, you will need to think about what happens to do when it does go wrong. It's rare that when you set out to do something that it will actually turn out the way you expect it to, whether it's for better or for worse. Now let's talk about some dinosaurs. Every dinosaur has a use, with some being quite niche and others being capable of a broader range of usage, but they all perform a purpose. Herbivores can harvest berries, while carnivores can harvest meat from dead things. This is the only one thing they are all capable of, with almost every single species having an ability that is unique to them. There are so many special skills with so many dinosaurs, I don't know where to start. Should I talk about the scorpion and how it detects inflict torpor, making it a viable method to sedate larger targets? When you don't need to worry about damaging them too much, that is, smaller targets will just die. What about the sarco and how it's mildly slow and meandering on land, but when it attacks, it can turn to face any direction with ease and has increased movement speed in the water. I would continue, but we'd be here all day, and it's more fun to learn about this sort of thing yourself. So I'll leave it at that. But now that we've talked about what the dinosaurs are basically capable of, how are you going to get one for yourself? Taming is a rather simple affair on paper. There are a lot of difficulties that can arise, but I'll go over that later. You tranquilize what you want to tame with tranquilizer arrows, darts, or you can just fling rocks at them with a slingshot, or if you're feeling relatively primal, you can give them a good dose of bonk with your trusty blunt force instrument, either a club or a fist, I don't mind. And as if you don't mind breaking your hands a bit, as you do take damage when you punch stuff, but you didn't hear that from me. When you hit a dinosaur, you will inflict torpor, which represents how close it is to waking up. So to keep it asleep, we have to overdose it in morphine. Ha! No, I'm not kidding, that's not a joke. You have to keep them asleep by drugging them and to keep them from running away. And if it was anything other than a dinosaur, I'd have half a mind to call the police. Hey guys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you want to hear me shout?
No.
Yes.
Too bad.
Please.
Fuck! Once your lovely beautiful creature has been downed, you can then fill its inventory with its favourite food, which when the dinosaur eats will fill a percentage bar representing how tame the creature is. When it reaches 100%, it will be tamed and ready to be your friend. Herbivores can eat almost every berry, excluding stem and narco berries, as stem berries will work as a stimulant and will wake it up, and narco berries are what narcotics are made of, and so the dinosaur will not want to eat them. Carnivores are usually more receptive to meat, or fish meat if they're an aquatic type creature, or a pelican, or something like that, something that spends its time around the water. The most efficient meat to use is prime meat or prime fish meat, which you can obtain by harvesting the corpses of larger predators like Carnotauruses, Titan boa, T-Rex, and things like that. Larger aquatic creatures yield prime fish meat. Medjool berries are also the preferred choice for herbivores over other berries. I should have probably told you that before. You can also use eggs to make kibble. Kibble is basically dinosaur dog food, and it will basically drastically increase the percentage of tame. You need to do different types of kibble for different types of dinosaurs. I'm going to leave all that to you. You can find that out yourself. Let's talk about eggs though, because eggs are laid by female dinosaurs. Wow. And they have a higher chance to drop when around a male of the same species. I wonder why. Wild dinosaurs can also lay eggs, but be wary when grabbing one, as you may end up like this. 6, is that good? No, we can do better. Ooh, a Triceratops egg. I'll take that.
Is my seat lowered or something?
Okay, what the frick? Oh, right, of course, I am a retard, aren't I? Is it coming up?
Right.
Okay, yep, I'm gonna die. Because I am a complete muppet and I forgot that dinosaurs attack you when you steal their eggs. Yeah, it wasn't my crowning achievement that moment. I from making a video about the game, and I still forget every single time that I need to stand away from the dinosaurs. Of course, in this situation, I had my two favourite dinosaurs, Surge and Spike, with me, and they don't really care about what the Brontosaurus wants to do with that egg, because they're fucking hungry, and they're going to eat the damn thing. You can also get tame dinosaurs to mate and have babies. It's very interesting and very useful. So now you have a new dinosaur companion to comfort you in those lonely dark nights by the campfire. So what exactly are you going to do with it? Well, let me tell you what you're going to do. If it has a saddle, you're going to craft it and you're going to ride them around. Some smaller dinosaurs like a compy can be picked up and carried on your shoulder. I'm not really sure what purpose the compies serve. They're basically just there to be cute and ride around with you. Some things like the Ichthyornis can be shown out to get fish for you, but that's besides the point. Most dinosaurs when ridden will have a left and a right click ability, some of them boasting a third by pressing the C key by default. A good example of this is something like the Argentavis. Argentavis' left click is an attack, its right click picks up something in its claws, and its C ability will pick up very small creatures in its mouth. The stats and meters I mentioned before are also present on dinosaurs, some not having an oxygen meter though, like the Sarco and the Baryonyx, as they are amphibious, and I don't think I need to tell you that aquatic creatures don't really need oxygen to breathe underwater, as they can fucking use their gills. The saddle also provides extra protection to your friends, and there's a greater protection value with higher quality saddles. Let's take a brief moment to talk about that lovely feeling called paranoia and the different ways that it can be inspired. Why is this relevant? Well, to be specific, we're going to talk about the way that Boneworks and Ark instill paranoia to us in different ways.
Oh no, I see what I've done. I've stuck it. How in the hell did I do that?
Where Boneworks takes a dark hallway and strategically scatters enemies around to make you paranoid about what's around every corner, as you don't know where enemies are or what the best method of dealing with the threat is. Ark makes you paranoid because enemies are literally everywhere. There is no place safe in the game, and you can 100% relax. Nowhere! There is always a dinosaur around, and there is always danger wandering the area. On top of this, dinosaurs are not nullmen. They are much greater of a threat, most of the time. That is, unless it's a compy, then you can punch in the head. While nullmen struggle to even get close to the player if they have a trigger finger, a pulse, or moderate bloodlust, dinosaurs will relentlessly chase you and will not stop until you run away like a little bitch, or you have you bleeding out of every orifice and your entrails strewn across the beach, trees, or wherever hell you happen to be. In essence, they're not something you can't take seriously. It's like what I said in my Dauntless video. You will never be able to destroy anything in one hit in these types of games. You can tank it, you can do everything to prevent this, but you can never take it down in one hit. Unless, of course, it's a dodo. In that case, it's a given. Speaking of being powerful, let's talk about equipment.
Hey boys, did he say weapons?
No, I did not say weapons.
Hey boys, he's talking about weapons! Hey!
No, wait your damn turn! Right, when you first start out, most of your equipment will be very primitive and ramshackle as it can get. We're talking brick on a stick level of jerry-rigged here, right? I mean, look at this hatchet. It's pretty piss poor if you ask me. But as you gain higher levels, your equipment will become more modern, going from a slingshot to a bow, then a crossbow, then rifles, shotguns, pistols, rocket launchers, and so on. The same thing happens when you're building, going from a simple thatched cottage to a metal fortress equipped with automated turrets. But as with everything, just because it's the newest thing you've got doesn't mean it's always the best. For example, the higher level rifles can't actually fire tranquilizer rounds, and you can't actually shoot most guns underwater unless you've got a harpoon gun. So you may want to keep the crossbow around, as it's the only thing that can shoot underwater apart from the harpoon gun. The same sentiment also applies to your armor, as different armors also have different hyper and hypothermic insulation, meaning that something like the fur armor is really good up the north where all the dangerous creatures live, where all the snow is as well, so you have to keep warm. But if you take it to the swamp where it's a very humid environment, you're probably going to roast yourself alive. The music is also very nice, but the main theme, damn, it's really something else. It's orchestral and has tremendous amounts of presence, just like the creatures the sound is depicting. Huge lumbering beasts shaking the earth as they walk, mouths dripping rivers of drool and more teeth than brain cells. While you have the option to avoid all the danger, you just want to get in close and see where your adventure will go next. And then you die. The atmosphere is also very pleasant for the most part. When you aren't being chased or assaulted, and you can sometimes just sit and admire the view, you can be absolutely breathtaken by how amazing it is if you're in the right place at the right time. The general aesthetic is pleasing to say the very least, although I do have my graphics turned down for better performance. I would highly recommend, if you can, play this on the highest graphics settings possible because it is stunning. Even look at this Argentavis, you can see the feathers individually moving in the wind and it's absolutely stunning. Because I'm recording this conclusion after the fact, because I've done it 6 or 7 times, but apparently I haven't got it right once, or even enough to stitch it together, I'd just like to apologise for the state of my voice in this video. I shouldn't have screamed, I did, and then promptly afterwards I decided I was going to record the lines for this video. Also, one thing I'd like to state is that most of the lines in this video were impromptu and made up on the spot. I did have a script, but I just didn't end up sticking to it too much, because when I was making the video I found it too much fun, found too many clips, so I had to stitch them all together somehow. So I hope you don't mind that. But anyway, that's besides the point. Right now, let's get on to the conclusion. Like I said many times, but you wouldn't have heard, I can't say nearly enough about this game, so I'm not going to, and I'm not going to give an excuse for that. I'll say if I want to make another video about this game, I will, and I hope you'll be willing to see it again. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you like the dinosaurs. And if you're wondering, yes, I did decide to name every single one of my dinosaurs with the letter S. Sayonara.